Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday morning, the 25th of October. Our devotion this morning on spiritual warfare. And again, today's spiritual warfare is, a demon behind every rock kind of thing. Real spiritual warfare is what goes on in here. And that's where our author has taken us time after time, William Gurnall, back to the 1600s. It's about the inner struggle between good and evil within our own hearts and lives, especially as we're trying to get close to the Lord and walk with Him. There's a tug of war that goes on. That's a spiritual warfare that's been the main focus here for us. Today's the weakness of wickedness. The weakness of wickedness. God calls Satan wicked to encourage believers in their combat with him. It is as if God says, do not be afraid of him. It is a wicked company you go against, and they who defend it are wicked too. If the saints must have enemies, the worse they are, the better. It would put courage into a coward to fight with such a crew. Wickedness must be weak. The devil's guilt tells them, and that's the devil's plural, guilt tells them their cause is lost before the battle is ever fought. They fear you, Christian, because you are holy. So you do not need to fear them at all. When you see them as subtle, mighty, and many, your heart beats fast. But look on all these spirits as ungodly wretches who hate God more than they hate you. And the only reason they detest you at all is your kinship to him. Whose side is God on? In the past, he rebuked kings for touching his anointed ones. Will he stand still now and let those wicked spirits threaten his life in you without coming to your rescue? It is impossible. The unity of the enemy is a challenge to believers. All the legions of devils and multitudes of wicked men and women form a single mystical body of wickedness. As Christ and his saints are also one mystical body. One spirit unites Christ and his saints, and one spirit unites the devils and ungodly men. Their darts are all shot from the same bow and by the same hand. The Christians' fight then is a single duel with one great enemy. But this enemy unites all forces to arm themselves with darts of the worst kind. The devil's darts are temptations, which he aims with remarkable accuracy at the souls of men and women. These temptations are called darts. And if you will remember, that's what the shield of faith extinguishes in the spiritual armor that Paul writes about. The flaming darts of the enemy are deceptions and lies. He is the father of lies, after all. Of accusations, that's another one of our enemy's names, the accuser of the brethren. And so the spiritual war is fought a lot right up here. As we dwell on things or choose not to dwell on things, as we think the right responses to the enemy's efforts to trip us up, to get us to be sidetracked from following the Lord. Some of them are small, some of them are huge. But as we live through the middle of this world with an enemy who hates us because we belong to the Lord, because he hates, as our author says, he hates the Lord worse than he hates us, we're just part of the collateral damage, as it were, from his perspective. The weakness of wickedness has already been defeated. Book of Revelation says that Jesus already has the keys to death and hell, but we are wrestling with spiritual forces. And though the war has been lost, the battles continue. The battles continue. And we must be fully armored, and we must be taking every thought captive to Christ. We must not let that fear and that worry and that deception and all of those things that our enemy uses, we must not allow them to take root within us. That's part of the struggle. What do we dwell on? What do we not? Blessings to you today. Keep fighting the good fight by choosing to dwell on the truth of God.